Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships, and of course, you know I had to play Libertad in mode Shuffle. This ship is absolutely insane in random battles, so in mode Shuffle and Ranked, it's gonna be ridiculous. This is the game mode where everybody should be wanting to push in. You don't always get that, but in this case, people are going to push, and that's where Libertad shines. So in this first game, we get the best version of mode Shuffle. We get Airship Escort. And there's a bunch of enemies going to push this flank, and we're going to do amazing things with this ship. It, of course, is incredibly tanky, and these secondaries are absolutely monstrous. You get 234mm secondaries, which pen 59mm, and have ridiculous alpha damage. These combat instructions here that we've almost farmed up within the first few minutes of engaging the enemy are going to give us even more range, damage, and reload on these secondaries. It's amazing. It really, really is. Casual 23,000, 24,000 damage into the GK, showing us that these guns can perform from time to time, even though they're not the best battleship guns at tier 10. It's a bit of a weak point on this ship, but honestly, if that's the weak point, that's not really too bad, is it? The ship, though, does not have a hydro, and we're going to notice that that is a small issue when you're pushing in. Thankfully, though, we have insane maneuverability, and that was added right as the ship got released, and that might have been a bit of a mistake, I think, on Wargaming's part. It was already going to be a pretty solid ship, but the maneuverability here is absolutely ridiculous. You're going to drift through the water much like a Minotaur can, but you're as big as most large battleships are going to be. You're not even that small of a battleship. Tiny superstructure here combined with the armor means you're not taking that much damage either. We've already experienced over 1 million potential damage, and that number is going to climb even further. And that's okay, because Libertad can deal with it. These secondaries also have amazing firing angles, so it's not a ship where you have to give a ton of broadside to actually use all of this DPM. We do see that sometimes on ships like the Shikishima. Not that you should be doing a secondary build Shikishima, but I'm kind of one of those dumb people who enjoys brawling battleships and tries the secondary build on almost anything. And Shikishima has to give so much broadside, you're exposing that cheek citadel on the Yamato-style hull. Not so with Libertad. You can be perfectly angled to be auto-bouncing shells and still be firing all of these secondaries. I probably should shoot the GK here. He's such low HP, it'd be nice to finish him off. But it's a broadside Petro, guys. I have to try. I have to try. It's not necessarily about doing the optimal plays in mode Shuffle. It's about having fun and going for the big plays. Going for the home runs, right? And hey, we get double sit out of the last few turrets there, and that'd be the rear turrets. We will gladly take that. And we've tanked a lot for our team, but we've lost some HP. Certainly could do with some more healing. I'm being a little bit greedy with this build where I'm only taking 4 heals. And I'm not sure it's necessarily a good idea to do that because this ship, again, is so tanky. You can get through to those 5 heals without too many issues. Our potential damage numbers might be a little inflated since people are trying to cross-map. I think that was the Ohio from way on the other side of the map trying to hit us. Fortunately for us, the acceleration here is so ridiculous. We can just prop mod dodge, much like we see with the recently buffed Henry, and a lot of cruisers can do that. Libertad also has that maneuverability. Another Citadel into the Petro. Absolutely ridiculous. This ship is a ton of fun to play, I gotta say. And I stand firmly behind my initial impressions and take on this ship, especially after the buffs, after I played it once it was released. It's an overpowered ship, no question. It's so much better than all the other tier 10 battleships. At closer ranges, certainly. At long range, it's a little bit weaker, but it's tanky enough that you can get into these ranges without too many issues. But I'm so glad it's in the game. It allows for this pushing playstyle and for you to be massively rewarded for it with a ship that is at its best here and is going to punish the enemy team for letting you get close. Might be a little too easy to get close. I think that is certainly open for discussion. I think the maneuverability could be a little bit high, certainly. But I'm so glad we have a battleship in the game that can push in like this. I love it. We have taken a lot of damage, though, in this short period of time. We went from half HB to well below 20k here. That is a little bit concerning. I got too greedy there on the Ven for the overmatch through the stern armor there. And then the sap has been doing great damage to us. So sap into Libertad. Got to be a little bit careful. We do activate some of the special commander buffs, but we are about to die here. And again, the greed takes over. I probably should just try and finish off this NC, but you know, we'll let the secondaries and the fires take out both the NC and the Ven. Would have had a double strike there. And the other side of our secondaries, we're doing some pretty good damage to that Ohio as well. Decent first game, but trust me, this is a new match because even though we are on the same map, we get ourselves Epicenter, which does reward you for pushing in, although not as much as I would like. I would certainly prefer you could stall all the outer caps whenever you are in one of the middle rings. That would be pretty cool. Moskva turns broadside, and sometimes these guns do cooperate. Moskva, being a ship released a very long time ago, has one of the most exposed citadels in the game, though, so pretty nice that we are able to do that. And people do say hi. I like to say hi back in the in-game chat. I realize that might look a little bad, where the guy says hi and then I say hi as I nearly dev strike him. But I'm not trying to be rude about it. Just like to say hi to people in game when they say hi to me. We are pushing in, of course. Got to worry about subs in this game, unfortunately. But trying to get to this island, it's incredibly powerful for something like the Libertad. Of course, the sub is on this flank, and of course, the sub is going to be after us. No surprises there, so we got to turn away. This maneuverability is so nice, though, for situations like this, where you're dealing with subs. Yes, it's a little busted against surface ships, but whenever you're fighting a sub or a carrier, I will gladly enjoy this maneuverability to try and help us avoid that kind of busted incoming damage. Really, really not a fan of subs or carriers. Really disappointed that Wargaming allowed them in this game mode that's supposed to be fun, and they allowed the fun police classes into it. A little disappointing there, but hey, Wargaming is gonna do what Wargaming does, right? Can't really change much about that. Broadside Ruprecht. This time, we might get some decent damage. We got a lot of broadsides in this match already, and we're gonna do some good damage out of our main guns this game. Unfortunately, not quite that salvo, but that's okay. You can't quite have it all, I suppose. But still, 60k damage already. We're not even 5 minutes, not even 4 minutes into this match. This is still early days, and we're already in the middle of the map. This is what I love about this ship and this game mode, guys. You just full send it in, and it's action-packed right away. It's so much fun. Summer is here giving us a smoke. Thank you, very kind. Now, we're gonna see a good smoke here and a not so great smoke in a little bit, but this is very, very useful for us, allowing us to get a ton of damage out of these secondaries without taking damage in return. Assuming there's no radars around. Moskva, Puerto Rico having radars for us could be a little concerned, but for now, we're all right. Except for the torps. Again, saved by that maneuverability. I think the old Libertad easily takes that torp there, no question. And I guess that would be my hope if Wargaming does feel the need to nerf this ship. I hope the nerf is that maneuverability thing. I don't want to see the hull of the ship changed, or the guns, or the secondaries. It's such a fun, different mechanic. Certainly extremely powerful, no questions, but I mean, if it's a little less maneuverable, it's going to take way more damage. No hydro. You're going to dodge torps way less often if they feel the need to nerf it. Still, I'm just so glad it's in the game. It offers up this playstyle difference. It's so different from the existing meta we have, and it's so contrary to that. And I really, really do enjoy that. We're not actually pushing in and feeling like we're just throwing our ship away anytime we do so, and playing in the back of the map is optimal in basically every other ship in the game. But this one, you are massively rewarded for pushing in. Dealing with that Z42 could be a little bit of a problem, but even though we're on half HP or so, a little more than that, and only 2 heals remaining, still going to push back in. One, to hopefully avoid more submarine torps. Yes, I'm on the other side of the map. There's a Summers on top of them. There's other ships pushed in on that side of the map. Nope, we're going after the Libertad. Can't exactly blame him, but it is annoying. So hopefully now that he's gone, we can settle into some good brawling action here against this Tirpitz. Our secondaries are going to do some pretty good damage to him, although the upper belt we actually won't be penning with those secondaries. Buff has been activated, at least the combat instructions here. Only 30 seconds on it, and I know I say only. It's a pretty long time to have this damage, reload, and range buff. But it does mean that even though you do get 15 kilometers of range out of this ship with the secondaries, with it active, it's not super effective at dealing with smaller cruisers and certainly destroyers at those extremely long ranges. That's not really, that's not really a problem, but it could, I guess what I'm saying is it could be worse, guys. It could be worse. We deal with the Tirpitz, and Svea is coming in for the smoke. And it's really nice of you guys to come in and help me and smoke me up like this. I do appreciate it. And I will thank you and I will compliment you because you tried. But I don't know if this was the best smoke, I gotta say. Yeah, maybe not the time to smoke. I can tank for a while, guys, don't worry. And certainly under hydro and a bunch of radars, I'm spotted anyway in these smokes. Worried about the Z42 here pushing a little bit and YOLO torping from that side. Fortunately, Petro has the radar, so we know we're okay, at least for now. 2.5 million potential damage and on our last heal, at least at this point. Just barely managed to go dark for a second, and that gives us a small break. But with my teammates pushing up and honestly taking quite a bit of damage, I'm a little worried about us losing this game rather quickly here. Team seems to have gotten brave all of a sudden, and they're going to lose a lot of HP very, very quickly. So I got to get up there and tank for them, even though it's probably better that we kind of chill and hold our positions. We do need to tank. Yeah, Yumahari's almost going down. Petro took a big hit as well. And of course, Svea is no longer in this match. So time to push, hopefully to deal with this Schlieffen and Ruprecht. Little worried about pushing too hard, though, into the Puerto Rico. Libertad does have a vulnerable broadside at close range. We do have to add that qualifier. But at closer ranges, yes, this ship will certainly be taking citadels, above water citadel, even though it is very well angled and armored, which means at 12, 14, 15 kilometers, you're probably not going to citadel it unless it's flat broadside and you have absolutely ridiculous shell velocity and pen. Ruprecht broadside again. Last time we did like 5k damage to him, so hopefully we can do a little better here. And indeed, we only get 2 pens, 2 hits only. It's fine, because again, we're doing good damage with these secondaries. But you do have to be a little bit aware that this ship is not going to be all that consistent with these main guns. Worried about the Puerto Rico pushing out just a little bit, but our Iparanga is doing a decent job of dealing with him. Yumahari has managed to survive, got the turn away. I think the enemy team has decided to try and kill me off, which I do not blame them. This is another ship where you probably want to focus it out. Maybe not as much as Hildebrand. I want to play this ship and not die instantly, so maybe don't focus this ship, guys. It's fine, it's fine. Just when you see me in it, don't shoot me. It'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen. Z42 with the insta-fire there, but that's all right. We should be able to survive it just barely. Ruprecht, broadside again, guys. So many broadsides this game. So when you look at the damage, yes, it's going to be very, very good, but people were literally just sailing Finally, there we go. The double citadel, nearly taking him out. And that gets us our secondary and main gun reload buff. Very, very nice from the commander here. 14 seconds left on this fire, so maybe we live here. This is where having that last heal probably would be a good idea. Although we have tanked nearly 4 million potential damage at this point, so that's pretty good for a 4 heal battleship. And the Z gets the instant relight. Z42, well known for its insane fire chance. Sarcasm, by the way. I suppose it's fair, given how insane this ship is, though, that we get lit on a few fires like that. Our team does come through and win us the game. 260,000 damage in this one. Absolutely ridiculous. A really, really good time. We get the mode shuffle, allowing us to play against people who also are pushing in a ship that wants to push in. You love to see it. So I hope you guys are enjoying this game mode and having a good time. And it's too bad that it's going to be just this patch. Maybe Wargaming bring Mode Shuffle back so people can play Libertad once it releases out of early access. That'd be cool. But we'll probably have to wait a little bit before we get Mode Shuffle back. Perhaps Wargaming will bring it back every few months. We had it relatively recently, what, 1 or 2 patches ago? So maybe they're going to do it off and on like that, every other patch or every 3 patches or so. That'd be cool to at least get people the ability to play these things in that insanely fun game mode. As for the build here on this ship, again, I'm being very greedy. I probably should run a little bit more focused on survivability. The only thing really I have survivability-wise is fire prevention and I guess concealment. Given the game mode I'm playing and how I'm playing, I probably don't need concealment. I probably should just go emergency repair expert to get that 5th heal. I'm sending it in anyway, so I'm going to be spotted regardless. I guess it's really only helping me get a little bit closer before I get detected. But then if we have planes in the game, that just goes out the window anyway. So I'm kind of convincing myself I should just swap over to the extra heal. That would allow us to stay alive even longer. Not that we did a bad job of tanking, mind you. Brisk here helping us out though with that conceal, so I probably would swap away from that to say vigilance, which allows us to see those torps a little bit earlier. Since we don't have the best torp protection, we do take quite a bit of damage to those torpedoes. No hydro as well, bit of a downside here, although maneuverability does make up for that. The build looks a little something like this. I'm not sure why I have main armaments also. Looking at this build, it's been a little while since I've played those games. We had to look at Hildebrand and Brennus and Tennessee. There's a lot of stuff that I've been looking at. So not sure what I was thinking. We really should just be running the auxiliary armaments to keep those secondaries alive since they do so much damage. Armor-wise, you already know it's really good. I mean, it's basically dealing with all the complaints I've had about brawling pushing battleships. I'm not going to say Wargaming listens to me, but it feels like they listened a little bit here, especially when it comes to superstructure. Not having a giant superstructure is really nice for a pushing battleship, man. It's something I complain about all the time on GK and German battleships, so it's probably that they know that and they realize that. I mean, Schlieffen doesn't exactly have the biggest superstructure either, and it's very good at pushing, so... But hey, it is a feature of this ship. Also, the firing angles and all that are really, really important. So, very, very powerful ship, but you, of course, already knew that. So I hope you guys enjoyed some Libertad in Mode Shuffle. I had a blast with this thing in that game mode. I'll probably play it some more, don't you worry. But thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.